Welcome back to Feel Better with Lauren. I'm Lauren. Thanks for joining me. If you follow along to these videos sequentially, the keen observer may notice that it's been a couple of weeks since my last video. And that's because life's been really busy. And also it was the end of a year of doing this channel, and I wanted to reach out to people and try to publicize it a little bit and get more people subscribing. And so I reached out to people and posted on platforms of places that I thought people might enjoy the content or find it of interesting or of benefit. And also I did that because I was frankly kind of nervous, and I'm trying to run towards my fears and nervousness rather than run away from that. And so of course you stick your neck out, and I think, okay, I wonder what's going to happen. I feel kind of silly doing this thing already. Most people who I reached out to don't think of me as this guy. And of course, as you can imagine, the response I got back was fantastic. And you realize that people want to support more than anything else. People want you to succeed more than anything else. I want people to succeed, and people want me to succeed. And I realized that after spending all this time of focusing on my body and my brain and my breath and getting that in unison and balance, that you need to also think about how reaching out and connecting with the rest of the world is also very important for balance and unity. So, welcome if you've just arrived, and welcome back if you're back. Let's keep feeling better together. All right, so welcome. If you're just joining us, it's been a little bit of a break for me, so I'm just going to ease back into this with just a quick and easy video to get my body limbered up again. I'm going to sit at the back of the mat here, or back of the space that you create that you want to be in. I'm going to sit cross-legged, and the first thing that I do, that they do in most of these things, is I get rid of all this residual air that we have in our lungs. Your lungs are sort of halfway filled with air that doesn't really move too much. So if you breathe in through your nose and push all that air out through your mouth, you can fill it and replace that air in your lungs with oxygenated air. So in through your nose. Fill up your entire chest cavity, your diaphragm, your whole body, and out through your mouth. And in through your nose, and out through your mouth. And one last time, in through your nose, and out through your mouth. Now, sitting cross-legged at the back of your mat, or whatever is comfortable for you, we're going to keep breathing in and out through our nose for the rest of this short little exercise. And we'll just sit here for a few moments and sort of get in touch with your body, sort of check in with what everything feels like, move you around just sort of slowly where your joints are moving and where your joints are not. Sort of become aware of your surroundings, aware of your body, aware of how it feels that you're sitting on the ground or sitting wherever you are. And slow down your breathing, sort of 3 to 5 seconds in and 3 to 5 seconds out. Now we're going to take one big breath in through our nose still. And our exhale, still in cross-legged. Let's just reach forward and bend forward and see how far you go. And with each breath in, your body can sort of expand, and the joints can expand, and you can make some space. And with each breath out, you sort of relax into that space that you're creating. So at the beginning, you may not feel that you can bend over too far, and as you go, you bend over a little bit more. It's never about how far you go. It's always about finding that edge. And to find that edge, you come up to the point where you feel a little bit uncomfortable and you back away from that. And you don't go past that. You don't push back that. We want to be able to do this every day. Uh, it, the other things that you might do in life that are working out and pushing, that's different. Today we're just getting in and finding our body and having it move and stretch and sort of feel. So in through your nose, when it expands and out, you fall into that space. And once you find that edge, just sort of relax in that place. And last breath in and relax. Now slowly push yourself up. If you're sitting cross-legged, fold your legs the other way. And that'll feel different on your body. And it'll also sort of stretch other parts of your body. So in through your nose, and then exhale into that space that you've created. You may find this is tighter this way. You may be looser this way. You may have created some a little bit of stretch already by stretching the other side. And last breath in and relax. And push yourself up. Now from here, roll over onto your knees if you can, and that's comfortable. And we're going to stretch the back of our feet. So on our knees, with our toes spread out apart and behind us, and just sit back with your hips onto your heels. Your hands in front with the eyes of your elbows facing forward. We're just going to move around forward until you can feel it in your wrists, and then back so you feel the stretch in your feet. And you're going to move slowly with your breath. So inhale forward. Exhale back, almost like you're in slow motion. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Now, if you can stay on your toes for a little bit and get a little extra stretch in your feet, just shake out your hands a little bit. And everything's getting oxygenated and stretching. And that extra bit of stretch on your feet should help you start your day or end your day. And now we're going to go over to tabletop so you can untuck your toes, your knees below your hips, and your wrists below your shoulders. And we're going to do what's called cat-cow. And cow is our first thing that we do on an inhale. We drop our belly as low as we can go and stick our butt in the air and stick our neck in the air. And then cat is when you breathe all the way out. You tuck your tailbone beneath you. You separate your shoulder blades and you push away like an angry cat. And you follow this with your breath. So inhale to cow and exhale to cat. Inhale to cow and exhale to cat. Inhale to cow. Exhale to cat. And then come back to center on tabletop. You may want to move around a little bit. You can feel what's moving, what's not moving. From here, we're going to have our hands below, our wrists below our shoulders still, and we're going to put our feet back into a plank position. We're going to push away, like we're pushing the ground away from us. We're going to open up our shoulder blades. We're going to have our hips sort of almost at our shoulder height and tuck our tailbone so that engages our core. We're not going to strain our neck. And we're just going to breathe in and out through our nose here for a few moments. Now we're going to inhale and we're going to push forward on our toes over our wrists. And we're going to slowly lower ourselves down, keep our elbows tucked in by our ribs until we hit the ground. Untuck your toes and go into Sphinx pose, which is your elbows below your shoulders, sitting like the Sphinx. You want to keep your butt really engaged here, and that'll help protect your back. If you're nice and flexible and you want a little bit more of a stretch, you can keep your butt engaged and push up to seal pose, which is going to straighten your arms, keep your shoulders away from your ears. And if you need to have a little bit more relief in your back, you can open your legs a bit. So I'm going to go up to seal pose, which is comfortable for me. Keep your butt nice and engaged, your shoulders away from your ears. Let's just relax here for a second. And take an inhale wherever you are. And on exhale, you're going to put your forearms forward, and you can just put your forehead onto your forearms and just move your hips back and forth a little bit, making sure they're staying loose, moving like you're in slow motion. And then what I'm going to do is put my left arm out straight, and I'm going to bend my right leg, and I'm going to just push over. I'm going to rest my forehead down on the mat here. If you want to make this a little less of a stretch, you can put your left arm sort of down by your body. If you want to make it more of a stretch, you can put your arm into a cactus position, so bent up over your head. And that's too intense for me, but just keep breathing in and out through your nose for a second. And last big breath in. Exhale. Slowly roll back where you relax onto your forearms again. Now this time, put your right arm out, bend your left leg, and reach over the other way. And again, you're finding your edge, so maybe you don't push over all the way. Maybe your leg doesn't go back over all the way. Maybe your leg goes more. This is where it's comfortable for me. I'm getting a stretch, but I'm not getting any discomfort. And last breath in. And exhale, come back to where you were. Now from here, we're going to have your big toes almost close together, your knees apart, and you're going to put your hands sort of underneath your shoulders, and you're going to push back to what's called child's pose. Your hips go onto your heels, and your forehead, if it can, touch the ground, and you're stretching out with your arms. And this should be one of the more comfortable and happy places to be. If you want to come up a little bit and you just want to focus in on the stretch, your more important part is keeping your hips on your heels and then walking down as far as feels comfortable. And this should open up your back. And last breath in, we're going to lift our head up a little bit, untuck our toes, and we're going to go up to downward dog. So everything was in the right spot. Push up to downward dog. The key on here is to keep a straight line from your wrist to your elbows, to your shoulders, to your hips. So if you want to bend your legs even a lot, you can do that and gradually stretch up your legs so you get a stretch in the back. Keeping the straight line is the more important part. You can pedal out your legs a little bit first if you want to get all your joints in line. Once they're all in line, you find a little bit of stillness and push out to that downward dog pose. Now, the next thing is to put your right leg straight in the air to keep that straight line going. And then bend your leg out. Keep your shoulders square if you can. And sort of stretch out your hip. Now go up on your left toes. And bring your knee to your chest if you can. And then we're going to step outside to lizard lunge. So your foot's outside your hands, your legs back. You can let your hip fall open if you like that stretch. You can go lower on that stretch if you'd like. I sort of like being up. And you're going to push out of the ground again. And each breath in sort of lets you sink into that hip a little bit more. And last breath in. We're going to move our leg forward. And we're going to twist around. So your back leg came forward. Your left arm is going to go to the air. And then it's going to come back and hook around your knee. Maybe you just want to hold your knee. Maybe you want to put your elbow. Maybe you can put your tricep. And you're not forcing anything here. You're just relaxing into the stretch. And each breath in, you sort of expand your spine upwards. And then when you exhale, you can twist a little tiny bit more. Nothing should hurt here. Nothing should ever hurt. Now, last breath in, you're going to sort of keep turning where your ankle goes over top of one knee, they get stacked on top, and your knee goes top of your ankle. So your knee may be quite a bit off your foot here, as mine is, or maybe flat, but you should feel a good twist in your hip. You want to keep your foot really flexed. Keeping it flexed keeps your knee in line because there's a bit of stress going on your knee here. So you're not pushing down, you're just letting that go. Now, next thing I'm going to do is just lean forward a little bit, and that realigns myself a little bit here. And then I'm going to put my right arm behind me, and I'm going to put my left arm over top of my head. And I'm going to get a little twist here. My legs are relaxing. I can still feel that stretch, and I'm not pushing it down, but I can feel how my knees relax a bit more. And last breath in. And on the exhale, we're coming back. Plant your two hands, plant your right leg down, and then you go back to lizard lunge. That actually feels like a lot less stress. And then you're going to drop your left knee down, and you're going to reach behind with your right arm and grab your foot if you can. You could always put your elbow over top of it. You could also just reach behind with your right leg, or you can put your leg up. Again, this is not about doing anything other than stretching. You're going to push out, keep yourself straight back. And again, this is all about it feeling good. I can feel a stretch in my hip flexor on my left side. I can pull my leg to me a little bit closer. Breathing slow and easy. And one breath in again. And slowly let your foot go so it doesn't catapult to the ground. Back to lizard lunge. Back to plank. And then back to downward dog. Find that moment of centered here. That nice straight line. And then we're going to put our left leg to the air for three-legged dog, as straight as line as we can. Bend our over to stack our hips, keeping our front straight and square to the mat. And then up on your right foot, bring your left foot to your chest. And then step your left foot outside, the lizard lunge on the other side. And again, you can let that fall open. You can feel the stretch. If you want, you can put your knee to the ground to give a little break off. One breath in. And now your right leg is going to come up and tuck behind your left leg. Your left arm goes behind you. Your right arm reaches to the sky. And then you're going to twist around. And each inhale lengthens your spine so your head goes closer to the ceiling. And the exhale, you can maybe twist a little bit more, only if it's comfortable. And then inhale in. Now we'll do double pigeon on the other side here. So your ankle over your knee over your ankle, and keep your left ankle in particular flexed to keep your knee in line. Then we're going to just sort of gently lean forward a bit, and that I find lines up everything. And then your left arm goes behind and your right arm goes above you. Keep your breath nice and slow. Last inhale in, and exhale. You come out of it. Your left foot plants on the ground. Your right hands plant on the ground, and you're back to lizard lunge. And suddenly lizard lunge feels a whole lot better. Now you're going to gently drop your knee. You may want to put a cushion there. And you're going to reach behind and grab your foot if you can. Reach behind with your left arm and grab your right foot if you can. Or you can put a strap around that. And you're going to push up out of the ground to where it feels comfortable. You're going to pull your foot closer to your quad, and you'll feel that quad stretch and your hip flexors stretch. And last breath in. Gently release that foot. Your hands plant. Your feet go back for a plank. Tidy everything up. Get it on line, and then back to downward dog. Now from here, we're just going to walk our hands back up to a forward fold. I like what's called gorilla, which is where you stand on your hands and you straighten your legs as much as you can. Wherever your hands are, reach behind your back. And we're going to let your arms fall forward. This becomes a seal version of this. One breath more in, and slowly drop your arms and go into a halfway lift, which is your hands go on your shins, and you make a 90-degree angle right here on your hips. On an inhale and an exhale, you go back to forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale where your feet are. We're going to sit down into a squat if you can. You can go on your knees. You could go into a ball. For me, I am comfortable in the squat. You put your triceps and you give just gentle pressure, and you can go into this sort of prayer position. Keep your back as straight as you can. You don't want to hunch your shoulders over, not in this anyways. And you might want to roll out your wrists here. Because if you're like me, you haven't had this pressure on your wrists for a while. A big inhale in. Put your hands in front of you. Inhale, raise your hips. Exhale, slowly come all the way up to standing. Inhale, your hands go above your head. Your hips kick out forward as far as you can. And let's just stay in this position for just a moment. And inhale and exhale into this prayer position, which, as I always say, is sort of, if you're in this prayer position where your thumbs are at your sternum at the same height as your elbows, you're standing up sort of straight and tall, your legs are the same distance apart. Just sit here focused for a little bit. We're just at the end of things here, of this sort of gentle getting back into it. Turn back. And we can stay here in this position. Just relax and just breathe. And we'll try something a little bit harder next time. Thanks for joining me. See you in the next video. Always talk to your healthcare professional before starting a new regime. If you experience pain, discomfort, or dizziness, slow down or stop. These videos will become easier each day, but if it doesn't feel right today, go slower or move to another video. Listen to your body.